Alright guys, welcome to the video. Anthony Special here with Special Analysis. Gonna break it down for you. Again, I shoot these videos every day from an educational perspective. I share with you my thought process, what I'm seeing, when, where, why, because if you desire to be a price action volume order flow trader, which to me is the only way to trade, I wouldn't trade any other way. I mean, there's wonderful indicators and softwares out there that you can compile into your trade plan, but if your foundational trade plan is not circulating around volume, price action, and liquidity or order flow, you're probably missing the bigger picture. So I always encourage folks, less is more. Okay, I think that's super important. If you want to see my screen as I come to it in the morning, that's what it looks like. All right, my top left is my 4-hour chart that houses weekly, daily, and 4-hour analysis. My bottom left chart is the US dollar index. Okay, commodities and the indices typically react to this. If this is trending strong in a direction, I want to be aware of it. And then my main screen is my 5-minute crude oil screen. Now, you also have a reference screen, so I look at crude oil on a couple time frames. Big picture, weekly, daily, 4-hour. To make intraday decisions, I'm looking at the 5-minute, the 3-minute, and even sometimes the 1-minute. Those are really the way things kind of lay out for me that I have found that works the best for me. You may feel very differently, and you may approach the market very differently, and that's totally okay. Right? There is no right or wrong. It's whatever works for you. And a lot of people misunderstand that. They think that, I'm going to go work with this guy or girl or whatever, and they go, I'm gonna trade their plan. My plan is going to be different than yours. Okay, and that's why I don't run a service like that. I provide analysis, interpretation, and expectations. Why do I do that? Because that is the only thing that you can integrate into your own trade plan. Right? Me telling you to do this and do that and do this and do that isn't going to work for you because you have not psychologically or emotionally been made prepared to handle that thought process. That takes years, takes time. So rather than being like everybody else on the internet that has a Discord and this and that and the other thing, I just simply come into the market live with you each and every day. I provide you big time frame analysis. I provide you with on stocks, futures, forex, cryptocurrencies. Intraday, we look at the futures market. That's what I trade. I primarily trade crude oil. This year, I wanted to substantially increase my position sizes. So in doing that, I really needed to focus in on just one market, all right? Because I don't want too much exposure in multiple markets at the same time. I'd rather just hone in on one. Crude oil is what brought me into the market. So crude oil was naturally what I gravitated towards, and I decided I'm just going to focus on this specific market. Listen, everybody else out there trades the S&P and the NASDAQ, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We look at the S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, and crude, but there isn't many people who focus on crude, and I know it's not sexy, but the fact of the matter is there isn't a business in the world or trades on the stock market within the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, or the Russell that would still be in business without crude oil. So if you want to go to what this world functions on, it functions on crude oil. So to me, it is the absolute most important commodity in existence because without it, nothing else exists. So that's what brought me in. That's where I'm at. That's where I stay. It's my wheelhouse. And I recommend that you guys do the same, right? Whether it's the NASDAQ, the S&P, gold, crude oil, platinum, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what you trade, or it could be a handful of stocks. You want to put those things in your wheelhouse. You want to be very familiar with the way they act, the way they react, and how news influences them and things like that. Another reason I trade crude oil very specifically is we get an inventory report once a week, all right? Well, yes, we get a whole slew of other economic data that comes across the wire throughout the week. Crude oil is not as reactionary to it. So, because what happens is we get a news release, the NASDAQ makes this 200 plus tick move, and then we fall into this kind of stagnant move, for the balance of the session, where crude oil doesn't make that aggressive of a news on just average economic data, which allows me to continue to trade it throughout the session, and it still continued to perform as I would expect it to. So, came to the market this morning. I'm going to put my drawings back on here just so that I can reference them. Came to the market this morning, and we were pushing a little bit higher here. We had a prior high that we were struggling at. Eventually, we were able to overtake it, and we got this bump here to the upside. Now, I look for something very specific, okay? And that is a very strong appearance of trapped traders, okay? And I hate to put it in that context because somebody's losing money when I make money. And it's just a technique, okay? So I look for these areas where either buyers are potentially getting stuck in their position or sellers are getting stuck in their position and the market's moving against them. So as you can see, as you look at my screen here, you can see these little green boxes around the wicks on some of these candles and some of the red boxes and so on and so forth. Basically what we were looking for here was a genuine topping pattern to transpire. You can see in the top left, crude for the most part has been in a downtrend. We have made somewhat of a base down here over the last 48 hours. But I was pretty confident that if we found a ceiling, that we would stay with the overall trend and that would be now back to the downside. So I kept just being patient, looking for what specifically checks my boxes, okay? I told my clients twice, right, looking at the 3-minute chart, I'll switch this over, that right here, we were going to have an issue. The market pulled back, and that right here might very well be the high for the session. Okay? Now, it may very well be. The inventory report drove us right back into this level as well. I'm sorry, right here. A little increase in buying volume right here, and we had no follow-through. This did take us into a little bit of stagnant sideways. Market ultimately pushed up, came back down, got super choppy, retested this high that we specifically identified, and that if we were unable to get above it, that's it, we're done. We're going to go lower for the day. And that's essentially what happened. Now, where did I place my trades? I was looking for trap traders, and then I'm also looking for those trap traders to be above or below an area of absorption, right? So absorption's when buyers and sellers come in and they're interacting between each other, and I can see that on the order flow. So when I'm able to identify that, I put that in place with this little dashed orange line. And now I have my trapped buyers right here, okay? So what am I looking for? I'm looking for the market to drop. Now notice the market is very choppy, right? So I am taking profits extraordinarily aggressive. I'm moving my stop to break even or slightly into the profit, very aggressive, and just leaving a little bit of my trade on to see if the market gives me more. It didn't, right? It just didn't, okay? And with that, it's okay. I just took some profit and I called it a day. So I did that here at 9 o'clock, okay? You can see these were my trap buyers. This is where my absorption occurred. Market took a quick fall, all right, guys? And when I say quick, I mean quick. Like I wasn't in this trade for, a few minutes, you know what I mean? It dropped 15, 18, 20 ticks. I took profit very, very aggressively. So I did it there, and then I did it again here, okay? And this one I was super aggressive about because see these two notches right here that I have marked off at 950? That's two spots in a large candle where absorption occurred. So I knew that this was going to play a vital role in support, and if I don't close below it, price is going to reject off of it. So I got my short signal here based around what transpired. Basically, as soon as this candle opened, I waited for it to push up a little bit. I grabbed it, and I took my profit at 14 ticks. Really fast, really aggressive. All right, and then the final one was after the inventory report. You see we got trap buyers up here. We have absorption right here. I have more absorption here. We were unsuccessful in closing above. And then I have a lot of aggression right here at 68. And this came down. I took profits very quickly, again, right into the same pocket. It did come back up and stop me out before it did take this tumble lower. Now, there was some absorption transpiring here. I took 3 trades in a row. They were not massively profitable, but they were profitable. I took no losses. I got stopped out on a few contracts on each of them. I was very content, right? And I also had to put in perspective, how did I feel when I came to the market this morning, right? I had a terrible night's sleep. For those of you that don't know, I've suffered some health issues and continue to suffer some health issues. But I can't let that interfere with my trading. I still need to have a calm, cool, collected head when I approach the market. So I could just see that we were very range bound on the 5-minute, very range bound on the 3-minute. We're bouncing off the VWAPs here. For me to try to YOLO this and just see what happens, it wasn't worth it. Right? I just needed to get a quick day's pay, and that's exactly what I did. I got a quick day's pay. I got in and out a few times really, really quickly with a large contract size, and it was enough. And you know what? I logged out of my trading account and I called it a day, and I was totally fine with that. And that's something that you guys need to also focus on, right? If you're trading, and listen, I left them with expectations here that we would push into 73.15, into 72.95 where we are currently, and then below that we would test these prior lows, which come in at 72.50. So I covered all the bases for any of my traders that decide to partake in this push to the downside. But back to what I was saying, like, you need to always keep that in perspective. If you had a crappy night's sleep, if you had an argument with your spouse before they left for work, if your kids pissed you off, if the neighbor pissed you off, like if you're off a little bit for whatever the reason may be, and especially if you're new at trading, just take the day off, because you're gonna take out your aggression of whatever's bothering you on the market, and the market's gonna spank you like a baby seal, and it's not gonna feel good. I was very specific about my entries. I knew that the market was choppy. I wasn't looking to hold very long because, to be perfectly honest with you, when I'm done here, I'm going to go take a nap. Why? Because I'm tired, because I didn't sleep well. So for me, I didn't want to be making big decisions. I just know that when my order flow setup with my price action and volume all come together and they work in harmony, and I can find those spots on my chart, I know I can normally get a little bit. And especially on a choppy day, that's all I'm after, is a little bit. So keep that in mind. Not every trade's going to be a huge one. Yeah, do I wish I was still in this? Yeah, sure, I do. But whatever, like, I don't care. I'm not gonna ruin the balance of my day because I didn't, that I got stopped out and this went in my favor, right? Like, I'm just not going to, because there's no reason to. There's just no reason to. So always come to the market with perspective. Don't leave your trading terminal with regret. Leave it all on the line when you are trading, and then you need to disconnect from it. I watched so many new traders sit there and just watch the market for hours, and which is fine if you're gaining experience, okay? But if you're sitting there and trying to nickel and dime the market for hours on end, the market's going to take money from you, and you're going to get really mad, and then you're going to start regretting what you did. And then you go down this rabbit hole of all bad decisions and this, that, and the other thing, and it's just not necessary. Right? If the market doesn't give you exactly what you want, don't take a trade. It's that simple. Tomorrow's another day. Right? If it doesn't give it to you tomorrow, there'll be another day after that. Stock market's not going out of business. I can assure you of that. So make sure when you come to the table and you're going to trade that you are on cue. You know exactly what you're looking for. Listen, even though I'm extremely tired today, it doesn't mean that I don't know exactly what I was looking for. If I was that tired that I wasn't able to identify what I needed to identify, then I wouldn't have traded. But I'm going to call it quits early. I finished up. I helped my traders. We walked through, pushes to the upside on the NASDAQ, the S&P, even on gold as well. And we talked about, these pushes to the downside and this topping formation that's transpiring here on crude. So We navigated the market well, all things considered, and that's it. Now I step away for the rest of the day. Why? Because if I sit here, I won't, but most people will end up saying, "Oh, let me give this a try and see if this works." And what'll happen is you'll end up losing money, right? Then you start this very vicious, very bad cycle. I've learned to, now I've been doing this for a long time, but I learned to come to the computer, serve my clients, do my job, take my trades, and then disconnect. And I encourage each of you to do the same, okay? The market will be there tomorrow. If you are patient and disciplined and you want to continue to watch the market to see if it'll give you what you're looking for, that's fine. But if you're sitting in front of the computer, in front of the market for entertainment, this is not Las Vegas, okay? So I've watched people get addicted to it. And what they end up doing is losing their shirt. And then they start going all in and making reckless decisions because their bad choices originally turned into worse choices. So I encourage you, place your trades. If the market gives you the opportunity, when you're done, check out. It's okay. Go on with your day, relax, enjoy your life, because the market will be there tomorrow, right? I'm done. Am I upset I didn't catch this push to the downside? Whatever. I don't even care. It means nothing to me. It means nothing. And that's the psychological point that you have to get to. I've gotten to the point now. I place a trade as per my trade plan. I follow every step, check every box. The trade works, great. Trade doesn't work, great. Take another one. But only if it meets my criteria. Why? Because my criteria provides me an edge in the market. That edge is what allows me to make money. If I don't have an edge, I can't make money. Is it going to work sometimes? Yeah. Is it not going to work other times? Yeah. It's okay. Right? Choppy days like this, you have to be super aggressive. Not only getting into the trade, but also getting out of the trade. And if you're not experienced enough to be that aggressive and that fast, then you just don't take the trade. Tomorrow will be another day. So just keep that in mind. I know this was a little long-winded, but yeah, that's how I approach the market. For those of you who are interested in joining me, the Special Analysis experience provides day trading, swing trading, position trading analysis on stocks, futures, forex, and cryptocurrencies. Intraday, we trade the futures market, crude oil, gold, NASDAQ, and S&P. We also, in addition to analyzing volume and price action, we also analyze order flow. So I try to bring something to the table for everybody. I'm a one-man show, so I don't break the components up. It's one monthly fee. Stay as long as you want. Don't stay as long as you want. You're in control. You just go to PayPal and unsubscribe if you no longer desire to be part of what we're doing. Right? If you want discounted prices, I do offer them, but you got to pay in full for a year or unlimited access. We can go down that road if that's something that you're interested in. But if you're tiptoeing in, this may be, for most people, my approach to the market could be too advanced for you, right? You're looking for, a three-step method. You'll soon realize that three-step method is not sufficient in all market conditions. What is sufficient in all market conditions is volume, price action, and order flow. Okay, so that's what I focus on. Because whether the market's choppy or trending, those three things will provide me opportunities with the skill set I've learned to read them with what prices action's doing, when, where, and why. And my goal is for you to join me and also grow as a trader through experience, reading, volume, price action, and order flow, because those are going to be the three key components that you need to master in order to become a trader from the technical side. Now, you've got to master the psychological and emotional side as well. I will walk you through the steps of which it took me to get to where I am. So if you want to learn more about that, there's links below this video. Hope you found this information and educational. If you did, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. If you have a question, just leave it in the comment section. I will respond to it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.